Facebook, YouTube, what's going on? We'll get started here shortly. Make sure you locked in. Today we talking about are you even ready for the recession? Are you ready for the recession? I know a lot of people have been hitting me up talking about different things as far as you know being in position, not knowing what to do. So I want to know, are you ready for the recession? A lot of people may kind of feel like it's not necessarily a recession coming. Are you ready for a recession or the recession? All right, we'll get started here shortly. Salute, Anthony. What up? Welcome, YouTube, Facebook. What's going on? So, are you ready? It's definitely coming. It's definitely coming. Are you ready? If a recession was to hit today, are you even in position mentally, financially? I read a report this morning. 76% of adults said that they're making lifestyle changes. What lifestyle changes are you making today to get positioned for a potential recession? Were you around for the recession of 2008? What did you do differently? Mentally, yes. Financially, no. Are you ready for a recession? Are you in position? Do you even know what to do? Do you even know what a recession looks like? Do you know how it feels? If your job was to make you take a pay cut today, being on lives like this. Thank you. If your job was to make you take a pay cut today, how will that impact your household? See, these are the questions we have to start asking ourselves. Not only is it that, are we ready for a recession, but what would you do today if your income changed? Are you even in position to take a cut? How much could you afford to take a cut of your paycheck? 5%, you could still live comfortably? 10%? 15%? What if they cut your income by 40%? Could you still live off of 40% of your income today? 76% of adults are making lifestyle changes. What changes are you currently making in your life right now? What sacrifices are you making financially? See, this past weekend I was out. For those who don't know, I live out here in Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. It's always busy in Vegas. Literally every day of the week, I can go somewhere and it's something going on. From a show to a concert to comedy, like whatever. Restaurants, we have everything going on in Vegas 24/7. And one of the things that I'm always constantly noticing as I'm, and my spidey senses and my mind just is always turning, because I'm always looking at things from a different lens. And for those who've never been to Vegas, the casinos, especially on the Strip, a lot of our entertainment is inside the casinos. And you guys may see me looking at two different screens. I have Facebook and YouTube, and I have Instagram. So if you've never been to Las Vegas, a lot of our entertainment, from restaurants to shows, to the movie theaters, to the bowling alleys, to the lounges. You may want to go watch a game. So sometimes we go to the sports book just to watch the game. Everything in Vegas costs. This past Saturday, Deontay Wilder fought. And at Circa Casino and Resort downtown, they gave you the opportunity to watch the fight at Circa. I actually just ordered it from the comforts of my home. But the cost to watch the fight at Circa in the sports book, it was $2,500 just to get in for two people. And it was up to $8,000 for four people. Let me say that again. If you wanted to go watch the fight at Circa, it was $8,000 for four people. And for two people, it was $2,500. For anybody who's ever went to the club in Las Vegas, you haven't experienced the club experience until you went to the club in Las Vegas. You know, you got Drea's, you got, what else? You got Marquee. Like, we have some of the top clubs. It was a hell of a knockout. Anthony, I don't know. I think that was a tune-up fight, though. I think that was a tune-up fight. Huge fan of Wilder, but I think that was just a quick tune-up fight. That was a sparring partner. So, you haven't been to a club till you've been to a club in Vegas. And I tell people who've never really went out on that level and they talking about they want to get bottle service, a cheap bottle of tequila is going to cost you $7.50. A cheap bottle of tequila is going to cost you $7.50. You know, about 2 months ago, I went out with some of my guys. We were celebrating life and just everything that was going on. And I bought a case of Ace of Spades. I was embarrassed when I got my bill. But here's the thing. For those who ever been out, the allure of being in the music and the ambiance and like just the whole atmosphere, you're going to spend some money if you go to the club in Las Vegas. And then next thing you know, you playing bottle wars. You got this person over here, you got this person over here. Like, next thing you know, you spending thousands and thousands of dollars on some damn liquor. Trust me, I've been there. I've done it. I recently did it. I almost started to call American Express and change my voice. I'm like, I was embarrassed that I spent that much on some damn liquor. So the 3 bottles of Spade, and it wasn't the Magnum bottles, it was 3 bottles of Ace of Spade. They brought it out in a suitcase. It was like $7,500. I was embarrassed. But it's something about when that music is going, the drinks are already going through your system. I remember another time I went to go see Nas. And for those who know, Nas is like one of my favorite rappers of all time. And I got the table right next to him. And so I'm filling it. And I ordered several bottles. And then I bought the big Magnum bottle of champagne. That bill was even worse. I was embarrassed when I got home. This is why I don't go out much anymore. Because, again, you get caught up in the vibes. You get caught up in the vibes. And it's the distractions of life. This is why a lot of times we aren't ready for the recession. And this is what I'm getting into. It's cool if you call with the different. Yeah, I was about to call Amex and be like, that was not me. And so when you go out to these clubs, it's the music, it's the allure, it's the atmosphere, it's just it's a vibe, but it is a distraction. It's a distraction. And that's what it's meant to be. That club is meant for me or you to go out and enjoy your time for however long or however short period of time that you're there. But one of the things that I've noticed, the live is recorded. Yeah, so I can't call them and change my voice. Now they gonna pull this live. But see, here's the thing that I've noticed. No matter how bad we say the economy is, the casinos are packed. The club is packed. I'm a season ticket holder for the Las Vegas Raiders. It still feel funny saying the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I'm not a Raider fan. I just want people to know I am not a Raiders fan. I bought the tickets for marketing purposes. 1, so I can take clients. 2, because usually in the season ticket section in the club box area where I sit, you're going to be sitting with prominent other individuals. There are CEOs over there. There's other business owners. Like, I'm sitting in an area where it's a bunch of affluent individuals. So I bought the tickets really for business purposes. And then I bought 2 seats again. So this way I can take a client if a client comes to town. The stadium is packed every week. The arena is packed every week. Every single week. The Super Bowl sells out every year. I went to the NBA playoffs, game 5 with the Warriors, sold out. The malls are packed. Everything is completely full. They said Disney is reaching all-time numbers of people who come to visit Disney World and Disneyland. The airport is always full. Travel is up. Cruises are up. But yet, we're heading into a recession. Are you prepared? Are you ready to change your lifestyle to prepare for this recession? Because I truly and I wholeheartedly believe people have no idea the magnitude of what's about to take place financially. We're talking about a financial calamity, a financial disaster. Some people are barely hanging on. It will do nothing but get worse. Because here's the thing that we're still battling. We're still battling inflation. There's someone right now who wants to close on their dream home, but the cost of inflation, the rising cost of interest rates, potentially just took them out of contention of getting that dream home. I did a breakdown, and anybody on here can do this exact same breakdown. Take a house that 2 years ago was $240,000 at about a 3.5 to 3.7 interest rate. Your payment is about $1,100. A house that was at one point $240,000 between a 3.3 and a 3.5 interest rate, your mortgage payment is $1,100. Today's market at 7.5%, that same mortgage is $1,700. That's just the mortgage. That's not including taxes, insurance, HOAs, etc., etc., etc. So we're talking about a $600 swing. Is your budget financially ready to take on an additional $600 swing in your payment for the exact same house? We don't even have to go back 2 years. We can go back from February. There's been a swing from 2.9% to 7.5%. And in November, the rates are going up again. They're talking about trying to get as high as about 8 to 9% by the end of the year. 76% of adults said that they're making lifestyle changes. What lifestyle changes are you making? Like I said, the malls are still packed. The clubs are still packed. The games are still packed. The restaurants are still there. There is a waiting. You have to wait in line to go into some of your most popular restaurants. I don't do that. If I gotta wait, I just won't eat there. I'll go somewhere else. But I will make a reservation if it's a restaurant that I actually enjoy going to. Are you financially and mentally prepared for the recession that's to come? So now a lot of people may be saying, well, Will, what do you do? What would you do if it were you? How do you prepare? So the first thing I would say is I would look at ways on how I could cut my expenses. I'm speaking to the masses. Do you have multiple streaming services? Are you paying for cable and Netflix and Hulu? Like, are you paying? I've met people who've paying as much as $500 to $600 a month for television subscription services. Think about that. We're talking about over $5,000 a year we're paying to watch television. Over $5,000 a year to watch television. That extra $5,000 could go to cutting down and paying down some of your expenses. That extra $5,000 a year could be put towards an investment account. That could be going into your IUL. That can be going into something that positions you to acquire another asset. What are you doing to mitigate your lifestyle to be ready for this recession coming up? What do you do? Or are you just dumping your money into savings? For those who didn't watch my live yesterday, let me give you a harsh reality. Savings accounts were set up for poor people. Poor standing for passing over opportunities repeatedly. And what I mean by poor, they tell you to dump your money into savings. They use that money. They borrow your money to go out there and make investments and give you pennies on the dollar as a interest for borrowing your money. Meanwhile, every single month, your money dwindles because you have to pay to hold your money into their bank. And then you can only get a certain amount out at a certain amount of time. You're capped on your ATM withdrawals. You're capped on how much you can use in transactions with the card attached to that bank account. So you don't even have control of your own money. Are you prepared for the recession that's coming up? This is where we have to be a lot more savvy in understanding finances. This is why we have to be a lot more savvy in understanding where every single dollar is going. I talked about this yesterday when I talked about that 95% of the global majority has never seen nor do they know what a financial statement looks like. And I'm talking about from everybody with a PhD down to the high school to the high school dropout. 95% of the global majority does not know what a financial statement look like. And I broke down the different things that we need to understand when it comes to a financial statement. Do you understand your income? The difference between gross versus net. Most people are living off their gross income. If that job is paying you $75,000 a year, stop living off $75,000 a year. You don't even bring home $75,000. That's the top level income or the all-in package that they've included, where you still got to pay your your federal tax, your state tax, your FICA, your medical, your I don't even know. I haven't got a paycheck from a company in a long time. Just know that you don't bring home $75,000. You don't. But I literally have seen people at work calculating their monthly expenses off of the $75,000, not the $62,000 that they actually are bringing home. And then we live above the $62,000. Do you understand that column on your financial statement? Do you understand your expenses? You'd be surprised how many people don't understand their expenses. Did you know when I talk to people, when I'm asking them about their budget, and I talked about this yesterday, most people only give their basic surface level expenses. Oh yeah, my rent or mortgage, my car note, my car insurance, and that. And that's how much I pay a month. I swear, it's only $2,500 a month in expenses. They don't ever think about utilities, cell phone bill, if you got kids, if you got a spouse, if you got meals and entertainment. I know y'all going out to eat from time to time. How much are you spending on Starbucks? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you go to the movies? Have you taken a trip this month? Because now your expenses are different that month. Are you putting money in a retirement account? You didn't calculate that. Most people don't even know down to the penny how much money is leaving their home. Do you know what your daily allowable expense is? Meaning how much money can you spend per day to stay within your budget? Did you know the average person working corporate America spends over $50 a day on junk? In the morning they get Starbucks. At break time they get a Snickers and a soda. At lunchtime, they go into Burger King or McDonald's or a mid-level restaurant. And then for dinner, after work, on the way home, they're going to stop at another fast food, even though they're going home to cook something. And then they may not even eat what they cooked, and they still may go out to eat. Oh, and then when they go out to eat, they got to have drinks. And then after you drink and you done been out all night with your girlfriends or your homeboys, and then you're going to stop on the way home and get another burger or some chicken wings, lemon pepper, all flat, fried hard. $50 a day. Calculate that. That's $250 a week on average. Let me make sure my math is right. And I'm talking about on a 5-day work week. Let me grab my calculator. So if we calculate $50 times 5, that's $250. Let's do that for the month. That's $1,000. That's $1,000. That's just on junk food. That's not even real food. That doesn't even count the groceries that you're buying per month. Yes, you got to double your income just to eat like this. $1,000 a month on junk food. That doesn't even include you going to the movies. That don't include you going to STKs. That don't include you going to go get the all-you-can-eat crab legs. That doesn't include any of that. So we're probably at almost $1,700 a month just on meals and eating out every month. In liquor. Unless you're in Vegas. Because then you're spending $1,000 a bottle. Yeah, we don't count our gym memberships. We don't count our subscription services. We don't count that in our budget. So we don't even know how much money is going out. As I mentioned yesterday, we hit them with the I think my expenses are about, we can't about our expenses. We got to know down to the dollar. When I hear somebody say about, I already know they don't even know. Oh, I spend about $1,300 a month. No, you don't. I guarantee you probably spend double that and you don't even know. 95% of the global majority has never seen a financial statement, nor do they know what it looked like. Are you prepared if a recession was to hit today? 76% of adults said that they are making modifications to their lifestyles. Are you a part of that 76%? Or is that 76% people who want to, but they don't know where to start? They're embarrassed to dial back their lifestyles. That's another thing. That's a whole nother topic. Are you too embarrassed to dial back? Are you too embarrassed to tell your friends, no, I'm not going to happy hour this month? Are you too embarrassed to dial back the expenses? Let's make sure we're sharing these lives. If this is making sense and these lives are helpful, type the number 1 in the chat for me. Whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram. If these lives have been helpful for you, please type the number 1 in the chat for me. Yeah, some people don't care. You shouldn't care what people think about you. You shouldn't. 95% of the global majority has never seen a financial statement, nor do they know what their financial statement looks like. Essentially, that is your financial report card for you and your family. Would your wife fire you for having an F on the financial report card? Would your husband fire you for having an F on the financial report card for the family? Would your kids fire you for having an F on your financial report card? Your financial statement is your financial report card. Could you still keep up with the Joneses if a recession were to hit today? 95% of the global majority doesn't know what a financial statement looks like. We talked about income, expenses, next, assets and liabilities. Your house is not an asset if you spent over the value of the property. I don't care what that realtor told you. Oh, buy this. It will. No, you bought it above market value because you like the pretty cabinets or whatever they sold you on. Did you overspend for your property? If so, it's a liability. Did you buy a vehicle that is a liability, meaning it's not making you any money? The vehicle definitely may not appreciate. Now, there are certain vehicles that do appreciate. See, the reason I bought a G-Wagon wasn't to write it off like what they've been telling people to do on the internet. First of all, let me speak on that real quick. Don't buy a vehicle just because you can get a write-off, because most of the people who are doing that just for the write-off, a lot of the times they can't even afford the payment. When you buy a vehicle that's $200,000, you're looking at about a $4,000 payment. When you're buying a vehicle that's $150,000, you're looking at about a $3,000 payment. Don't let people get you trapped up and trying to buy these vehicles for your business so you can get a write-off. It's not even a dollar for dollar write-off. Stop falling for these traps, y'all. Stop falling for the traps. Do you even have enough income coming in to pay a $3,000 car payment that's not making you any money? Stop buying all of these liabilities just because it sounds cool. Again, that's the distraction. That is the distraction. That is the distraction. And trust me, I like distractions every once in a while. That's why I went to the club and overspent on some Ace of Spades champagne. Trust me, I was thoroughly embarrassed when I got home and I looked at my transactions. I was very embarrassed, but I had a good time. So, I had a good time. And my assets paid for it. Let me just say that. See, my assets pay for the ace of spade. I didn't pay for it. My assets did. All right. Assets. Do you have any assets on your balance sheet? And Toro is dead for the exotic car. Speak that, Crown. If you got an exotic car on Toro, in most markets, you ain't making no money right now. I can tell you that right now. In most markets. Yeah, in Vegas, you still got a market. Miami, maybe even LA. Maybe Atlanta. But if you're in Kentucky, that rate ain't making you no money right now. I can tell you that right now. Unless it's Kentucky Derby week. Possibly. See, a lot of people jump into stuff because it sounds cool. A lot of people jump into stuff because of the sizzle, but nobody is looking at it from a data standpoint, which is why we need to understand how to read and what our financial statement looks like, or else we wouldn't make these decisions, which is why most people are not going to be ready for a recession, whether it hits today or in the next 6 months. Most people have overspent their income and living off the gross and struggling. Last component of your financial statement, cash flow. Do you have any cash flow coming in? Meaning, can you make money without doing anything? Or do you have to physically get up and go to work every single day? If you have to physically get up and go to work every single day, that is not cash flow. That is income. We got to start knowing these different definitions. If you are only making an income at any given point, you are exposed at any given point. The company can reduce your income at any time. The company can change the structure. The company can shut down. The company can lay off. The company can do anything. And you're exposed because you're already living off of the gross. Are you cutting your expenses? If your company was to cut your income by 25%, could you even survive? Do you have all liabilities and no assets? Are you overspending in expenses, but you're not bringing in additional income? See, when people say, hey, how do I get other income? Go drive Uber. Go do Postmates. It's too many ways out here to make money. Or is your pride stopping you from going out there and doing these things? An extra $300 a month goes a long way in some households. That just helps people get a little bit past the red half the time. It doesn't take much. I often compare life to the game of baseball. If you're batting 30%, you'll make hundreds of millions. That's 3 out of 10, which is considered an F. But because we've only been conditioned to think that we only got to hit home runs to be successful, this is why people are losing financially, because they're swinging at a goal that 70% of people will never hit. Your best baseball player not batting a 70%. They're batting 30, maybe 33. We got to start understanding the expectation of an expectation. We got to start understanding these things. Do you have cash flow coming in? Are you making money in spite of you? Whether it's an e-commerce store, whether it's an Amazon store, whether you have a a Facebook store, whether you sell merchandise, whether you own real estate, whether you are selling paintings, whether you are selling do-rags, or whatever it is that you're offering, are you making money in spite of you? That's the only way you're going to get ahead on your financial statement. If you don't have cash flow, you will always be financially stuck, which means you pretty much will work forever. I'm a delivery driver, and you'd be surprised how many people think it's not worth it to make extra money. Talk it, absolutely. That's because people have pride. Oh, I don't want nobody to see me. Well, they're going to see you anyway when they find out your house is up for foreclosure. People have pride when it comes to making money, but people gonna know when the house is foreclosed. People gonna know when like so like we have to get over these things and stop having so much pride. I often talk about we'll go and abuse our credit to try to look rich, but won't leverage our credit to position ourselves so we can actually get rich. We do everything to try to look rich, but we won't do anything to try to keep as much money as we can, whether it's in paying for a professional tax person. TurboTax is not there to put you in position. You need an actual professional tax preparer. I drove Uber for 2 years. People laughed at me. I had a client who was making $7,000 a month in Uber out here in Las Vegas around the pandemic. $7,000 a month. The average job don't pay $7,000 a month. If the recession was to hit, are you prepared? Physically, mentally? Pressure, what up, man? Hey, your videos on TikTok are hilarious, man. Keep going, bro. Keep going, man. Keep doing your thing, Pressure. Are you prepared if a recession was to hit today? Are you prepared in 6 months? Do you even care? Are you one of those people who say, I'm straight? Oh, I'm straight. I remember one time when I first got involved in entrepreneurship, and I went to a business meeting. For those who are in network marketing, you know what that means. And I remember sitting in the front of the room, and this is back in my former life. You know, I'm super tough in my mind. You know, whenever we go around people, when it's a new environment, we always want to act tough. Like we want to ask them what they do to get to where they at, but we so tough, like we just tough. So I remember sitting in the front, I got my tough face on, my arms crossed, super negative body language energy. I got on some baggy jeans, some Timberlands, and a white t-shirt, and I probably had $7 in my bank account. And the guy was at the front of the room, and he's talking about everything, and he said, Will, you may want to start, well, he didn't know my name. He said, you may want to take notes. You may want to write this down. And in the right on cue, in the typical ghetto hood fashion, I said, I'm straight. I think I was even rocking back in my chair, and I don't even think the chair could move. Like, why are we so straight on everything? It's like nothing that can move the needle in our life positively impresses us. But we get impressed with everything that's distracting the forward movement in our life. We get impressed with negative information and negative news and celebrityism. And like we get impressed with all of the things that bring zero value in our life. And he looked at me dead in my eyes and he said, being cool gonna keep you broke. And I had $7 in my account. And unfortunately, this is how some people act often. The people with the least amount are the toughest dudes. And not tough physically, but I'm talking about like tough, like they straight with everything. Nothing impresses them. Like they so busy trying to pretend, they're so busy trying to be a character that they heart won't even soften, their minds won't even soften enough to be humble enough to ask for help. Trust me, fam, I know you drowning in debt. Trust me, fam, I know you one paycheck away from being homeless. Trust me, fam, I know your family is disappointed because you keep making the same financial bad decisions every single month. Trust me, I know. I done been there before. So you can't tell me you straight. You can't tell me you don't need this. Every single excuse you come up with should be the reasons on why you want to change your financial situation. %76% of adults are making lifestyle changes. What lifestyle changes are you making to ensure you don't hit total financial calamity or completely financial ruin in this down economy? Because let me tell you something. I've been speaking with a lot of my, friends who are executives and CEOs and real estate investors and real estate developers. And I'm talking about like real business people, real investors, real developers. Not just someone who has an LLC. Y'all go back and watch my video where I talked about that. LLC don't mean nothing. Don't stop falling for people antics. Okay? We're all holding, meaning we know what's about to come. We're getting in position. We're making sure our credit is A1. We're making sure we're getting the money from the banks and stacking, because eventually they're going to tighten up. We're making sure we know how to evaluate deals. We're making sure that we have assets to live off of. I've been screaming this for the past 5-6 years. Get in position. You want to be in position to have the power to purchase. That's my rendition of what PPP stands for. And I actually put that out way before the Paycheck Protection Plan program. But PPP standing for you want to be in position to have the power to purchase. If a deal was to smack you across your face today, are you even financially in position to take advantage of it? If a house landed in your lap giving you a 20% ROI, could you even take it down today? Are you working on your credit, or are you still waiting? Are you a saver? Oh, I'm going to save up for that, fam. Trust me, you can't save yourself out of financial ruin. I've tried it. I've tried it. You can't save yourself out of financial ruin. You got to have, you notice on the financial statement, it didn't say savings. See, success leaves clues. Let me read these again, because I want to make sure everybody understands this. 95% of the global majority do not know what a financial statement is, looks like, or what's supposed to even be on there. Income, expenses, liabilities, assets, and cash flow. Y'all notice it didn't say a checking account? Y'all notice it didn't say a savings account? It didn't say any of those things. So why is it that that's the only strategy we've tried to master, and it's yet to get us anywhere financially? I've yet to find anybody save their self to wealth. I've yet to find anybody to to have a savings that positions their family for generational income. And as you guys heard, a lot of times when I hear people use the word generational wealth, I ask them to break that down for me. How long is generations? Forever. How long does wealth last? Forever. Well, if all you're doing is working, and no disrespect, because I believe you should keep your job as long as you can. If you're not building assets, if you have zero cash flow, you can't use the term generational wealth. You just can't. You can just say you make good money. And if something was to happen to you, the good money stops within that family, because statistically, you probably don't have life insurance, because blacks and minorities are dead last in life insurance and in wealth building strategies. We're dead last. So I think this could be two questions. One, are you prepared for the recession? And two, is your family prepared if something was to happen to you and your income today? That really should scare you. That should keep you up at night. If something happened to you today and your income, is your family prepared to survive and maintain the lifestyle that they're living right now? And most of the time, it's a no. Most of the time, it's a no. People are fighting over the buttons that you put on your Letterman jacket because you didn't have a will in place. We got to do better, y'all. So a part of being positioned, a part of being ready, and I talked about why credit is important, why they didn't want us to learn about credit. Because, see, credit was used by wealthy people as a form to go and create cash flow. Now, I don't know if you guys heard the controversial interview with Kanye, but he said something there that stuck out to me. He said, People got mad at Hov for putting out the album 444 because he was giving away secrets. I don't know if y'all caught that part. They said Hov was giving away secrets. Go back and listen to the album, whether it was legacy, whether it was talking about how to use credit, like all of the things. These are all concepts that have been proven to work. You know how they did it? Credit. I should have bought an apartment in Dumbo for $2 million. Now it's worth $4 million. You know what that means? Dumbo. Like Hov gave y'all the blueprint. That album could have been named Blueprint 3. People was tagging me in the album when it came out. I'm like, I've been saying this stuff. I'm actually going to do a live. Why is it that we have to wait for our favorite rapper and favorite entertainer to talk about financial literacy when most people can't even fathom where their favorite celebrity is at? That's a whole nother. I'm actually working on that live right now. But Hov gave away the blueprint in the album, and yet we still think we can save our way to financial prosperity. Credit was meant to create cash flow. I'm actually working on a live too, why leveraging your credit could be a bad decision. Meaning, if you don't understand how to use credit, it's going to put you in financial ruin. And most people don't know how to use credit. Most people don't. But I got y'all. I'm going to teach y'all this stuff. So October 24th, I'm hosting a 5-day challenge. October 24th, I'm hosting a 5-day challenge. It's completely free. So you have no excuses. And I'm not here to convince you on why you want to be there. If you know that you're not in position financially, you need to be there. Like, I don't have to convince you. Because guess what? Everything that I'm going to teach y'all, I can go out there and do it myself, and I don't have to do any of this. Just like it's a lot of people who've hopped on the live who are in position. They got the houses, they got the cars, they got the lines of credit, they own assets, they got all of these things, but yet they still come on and leverage their platform and give themselves selfishly to give you guys access to this information. Go to fundingchallenge.net, a free 5-day challenge. I'm going to show you how to get the money from the banks to go out there and use to create cash flow. I don't teach people how to get money to get free airline tickets. I don't do that. You want to know how you get free airline tickets? You actually use the credit to go make some money with the assets that you purchase, and then you will get enough points to be able to travel for free. You don't have to go and put it on a gift card and try to run it up, because guess what? Eventually you got to service the debt anyway. Stop hustling backwards. We too busy trying to get a quick flip that we hustling backwards. Then we wonder why the banks keep changing the rules, because we keep burning the plug. I'm going to teach you how to really use your credit to create cash flow. I'm going to show you how to create these other columns on your financial statement. I'm going to help some of my fellas get back into the bedroom and get off the couch. So we can get your financial report card from an F to at least a C+. But you still got to do the work. I'm going to help some of y'all fellas get off the couch. But you got to go and register for this fundingchallenge.net. I'm going to give y'all some new information. I'm going to give y'all some information to help you get up off the couch. Trust me, your bae is waiting for you to get it right. She rooting for you. He rooting for you. Your bae, your boo, whoever, whatever y'all call each other, they waiting for you. But you got to get the right information. Got to get the right information. Got to get the right information. I want to find this post I put up as I'm wrapping up, because I got to get ready for my REI 90 call. So for those who don't know, I host a real estate group coaching call, REI 90, Real Estate Investing 90, where I teach you how to invest in real estate over the course of 90 days. That is a skill set you're going to want to learn, because imagine in the next 6 months when everything is on sale. You need to be able to know how to evaluate a deal and stop overpaying for a property or stop buying a property just because it's cheap. What steps did you have to make? How do you make money in spite of you? Shout out to my brother Crown, who went through my REI 90 program, bought his first fourplex, used and leveraged his credit. And not only is the credit creating them cash flow, it's also serving the debt. Think about how ill this is. He went and found a fourplex using the strategies that we taught him. He found a building, a fourplex that was already cash flowing. That means people were already paying rent. He didn't have to go in there, do a huge flip and put tens of thousands of dollars in there to get it rent ready. Leveraged his credit. So his debt servicing was about $2,100 a month. The rents he's getting is about $3,900 a month. So he's making about $1,800 a month for doing nothing. Crown is traveling the country, shooting video for your favorite rapper, for your favorite artist. He's filming films, and he's helping his daughter with her clothing line, who recently just got featured at Fashion Week in New York, all off of leveraging credit from the strategies he learned in my programs. And 3-4 years ago, I remember when I first met Crown, he didn't just say, Will, I'm a video your content. I'm also going to be a student. And he actually paid for my courses full price. He did it behind my back because he knew I would probably say, man, I can't even charge you. So he went and just bought the programs. Next thing I know, I see his name in there, and he done went out and executed on everything that he learned. And he came in completely green. Meanwhile, I know people that's been around me forever and still have a hard time grasping the concept of these things. But that's because you have to change the way you think first. Stop looking at things like, oh man, well, what's the interest on the credit? Why y'all charge this? Why y'all charge that? See, here's the thing. When used properly, information is the intelligence, which is why it is so valuable. When used properly, information is the intelligence, which is why it is so valuable. Why do you pay $200,000 to go to college? Because that is the value that you deem it to be, or else you would not go to college. I don't care how you slice it. You only go to college because you deem the information that you will get when they give you that piece of paper is valuable. But we won't spend a couple $1,000s to get information that can change our life today. I don't have to wait 4 years to have a degree in learning how to get money from the banks. I don't have to wait 4 years to be able to build a real estate portfolio that's going to pay me in spite of me working. Whether I'm on vacation, whether I feel like working or not, whether I want to spend time with my son, whatever it is I want to do. Peace, King. I'm about to campaign to get you on Drink Champs. Set it up, man. Set that up, Nico. I know you know everybody over there, too. Appreciate that. When used properly, information is intelligence, which is why it is so valuable. And it's a write-off. Absolutely. You can't write off college. Matter of fact, you can't even discharge it. So that $300,000, and then the student loan forgiveness, they only letting you write off, what, like $20,000 max? You with that till you die. At least if I make a bad business deal, I can file bankruptcy. Like, it's laughable because I want people to think about that. You can't even write off student loan debt. The little bit of money they let you forgive, they got people gassed up over that, and you still owe $220,000. You got 240, you write off 20, you still got 220. I think that's how it works. I don't know. You can't discharge it, but I can go and get $3 million in credit, and if the deal goes bad, I can file BK, restructure my debt, but I still have the knowledge. So guess what? All I have to do is go get a credit partner, and we can still go and make money and do deals. I don't have to wait till my credit is back in position. I got the game. I got the information. I have the intelligence. I could sell my intelligence. People have made more money selling my information than they did by actually going to go and flip a house or do this and do that. because the information is the intelligence, which if used properly is the true value. But we don't understand these things. We want to know, you know, come on, y'all, we got to do better. Go to fundingchallenge.net, fundingchallenge.net for my free 5-day challenge if you want to participate. You definitely want to be there every single day. Yes, there is going to be an upsell at the end. People will be like, well, you're just doing that so you can sell something. You're absolutely right, as I should, because that's the only way I can continue to come and give you all game for free. Nobody's teaching you about financial statements for free. You got to pay $7,500 to go to one of these gurus' conferences to hear them talk this type of dialect. You don't hear this type of stuff for free. You're paying $7,500 to be in a room, and you're getting a turkey sandwich for lunch with the Tang. It don't even be a cola. They give you a can of Tang, for those who know what that is. Fundingchallenge.net. Make sure you're there. King, I listened to the billionaire guy say he didn't know how to build a bank. I'm back locked in, champ. That's a fact. Cut the check. Just explain what you saying today. I'm telling y'all, people do not have access to these concepts. I'm telling you. And my boy Nico, he's sitting down with politicians and rubbing shoulders with congressmen. I sat in a room with 5 or 7 aldermen in a particular city. These are individuals who make decisions in our local towns on real estate, on policy, on money, on finances, and none of them were in position credit-wise. None of them could go out there and leverage money to go and buy real estate. Think about that. These are people who make decisions for us. They don't even have the information. When used properly, information is intelligence. Somebody Google what intelligence means. Understand these concepts, which is why it is so valuable. This is why this information is valuable, because it's intelligence, not just information. See, the word information, I think, is overutilized. But when you understand that good information is considered intelligence, there is no value on this. There is no value. I've never heard nobody complain about how much they spent going to school. They only complain once they get out because they can't afford the monthly payment to pay the student loan debt. And then they figure out that they got finessed into getting a degree that's outdated, and then you got to go right back to school to go spend some more money to come back out where the information is outdated again and make a fraction of what you thought you was going to make because the job pool is too saturated. But meanwhile, I can leverage my credit, invest it into programs to get the new intelligence so I can go out there and create cash flow, and I get to write all of that off. Sign me up for that twice. This is why I don't have to convince people. I only work with winners. Jordan only wanted to play with winners. I'm pretty sure everyone on here only want to be around winners. Hove only wants to be around winners. Now people say, man, Hove, I don't know if that song gonna do well. I only want to be around people who believe in their ability. You don't have to believe in me, because the concepts work. The concepts work. You can take me out the equation, take my raspy voice, take my whatever you want to say about me. Take me out the equation. The concepts work. Matter of fact, when you watching my videos, close your eyes and and complete the assignment. You may get further, because now you're not you're not basing it off of Will Roundtree. You're basing it off of the information and your ability. You can take me out the equation completely. So go to fundingchallenge.net. Reach out to my team. They're in the office. Learn more about my REI 90 program. Trust me, if you want, you learning about real estate is something that is almost going to be mandatory. I highly recommend that you start learning these concepts. What would be the best move if you have a decent credit score above 700, a six-figure job, and 50K in a retirement plan? Excuse me. You need to get with someone, to learn how to create additional cash flow. Because that 700 means nothing. That six-figure job means nothing. And that 50K in a retirement plan, that won't even sustain you past 1 year once you retire. So we got to start teaching you how to play cash flow, how to generate cash flow. So Clay Furious, reach out to me, and we'll get you with one of our wealth advisors to see how we could assist you. Make sure you reach out to me or leave a comment on the, I'm not sure if you're on here via Facebook or YouTube, but your game board looks decent. But if all of that the recession can drastically change all of that. So you got to make sure you get prepared. And thank you for breaking that down. Sadly, most of our people love thinking with their eyes. That's true, Nico. Like I say, we fall for the sizzle. Stop falling for the sizzle. Trust me, I could easily come on here with 10 chains, have every single car lined up, the Maybach, be in the house that I rent. Like, I could do all of those things, but that stuff means nothing. That stuff means nothing, especially if it doesn't make me any money. And let me tell you something too. Half the people you think living like that, not living like that. Because a lot of the money that people been running up is ran out. So now you got to really put in some work and really create cash flow. You can't keep living off of the backs of this government money. It's gone. It's gone. The licks are up. Now you got to actually put in some work. So go to fundingchallenge.net, and I'll see y'all October 24th. And until then, I'll see you at the top.